Good day to everyone. Welcome, and today this is my lecture about the issue of the rapid population growth. Fast-paced population growth and rampant urbanization represent some of the major population concerns in the Philippines, a country of 80 million people where the average number of children born to a woman is close to 4 and where a sizable 37% of the population is under age 15. The Philippines is also among the world's fastest urbanizing countries, and overcrowded cities present their own challenges. According to the Commission on Population, or POPCOM, with some 47% of the population living in urban areas, compared with 31% in Thailand and 16% in Cambodia, the country has more than 200 urban areas that have populations of more than 50,000. The estimation of the World Bank estimates that these urban centers could expand to some 600 by 2021, largely because high levels of rural poverty are pushing people into the cities. These issues represent major stumbling blocks in efforts to reduce poverty and improve living standards in the Philippines. The National Statistical Coordination Board, or NSCB, estimates that in 2000, roughly one-third of the population, nearly 27 million Filipinos, lacked the roughly $275 required annually to satisfy food and non-food basic needs. Such poverty was made worse by prolonged El Nino-induced drought that shook the region, limits the ability of the poor to gain access to health and other services. The concentration of economic development in relatively few urban areas and rapid growth population throughout the country are other factors contributing to urban sprawl. Compared with other countries in the region, the Philippines is experiencing rapid population growth. Let's be specific. What are the causes of overpopulation? There are a number of factors that contribute to overpopulation. These are the leading causes. The first is poverty. Poverty is believed to be the leading cause of overpopulation. A lack of educational resources, coupled with high death rates, leading to higher birth rates, result in impoverished areas seeing large booms in population. The effect is so extensive that the UN has predicted that the 48 poorest countries, like the Philippines, in the world are also likely to be the biggest contributors to population growth. Their estimates state that the combined populations of these countries is likely to balloon to 1.7 billion in 2050 from 85 million in 2010. The next leading cause is poor contraceptive use. Though the availability of contraceptives is widespread in developed countries, poor planning in both partners' parts can lead to unexpected pregnancies. Statistics have known that in the Philippines, 76% of women aged between 16 and 49 used at least one form of contraceptive, leaving a quarter open to unexpected pregnancies. This issue is exacerbated in underdeveloped areas. A study by the World Health Organization, or WHO, shows that this usage figure drops to 43% in countries that are blighted by issues like poverty, which leads to higher birth rates. The next cause is child labor. As distressing as it may be to hear, child labor is still used extensively in many parts of the world. The UNICEF estimates that approximately 150 million children are currently working, primarily in countries that have few child labor laws. This can result in children being seen as a source of income by impoverished families. Furthermore, children who begin to work too young also lose the educational opportunities they should have been granted, particularly when it comes to birth control. The next cause is reduced mortality rates. Improvement in medical technology has led to lower mortality rates for many serious diseases. Particularly dangerous viruses and ailments such as polio, smallpox, and measles have been practically eradicated by such advances. While this is positive news in many ways, it also means that people are living longer than ever before. This delay in the cycle of life and death has led to birth rates outstripping death rates by over 2 to 1 in modern times. The next cause is fertility treatment. Though it only plays a minor role in comparison to the other causes of overpopulation, improved fertility treatments have made it possible for more people to have children. The number of women using various fertility treatments has been on the rise since their inception. Now, most have the option of conceiving children, even if they may not have been able to do so without such treatments. And lastly, the last cause of overpopulation is immigration. Unchecked immigration into countries may lead to overpopulation to the point where those countries no longer have the required resources for their population. This is particularly problematic in countries where immigration numbers far exceed emigration numbers. In some cases, immigrants may be attempting to escape overpopulation in their own countries, only to contribute to the same issues in the countries they moved to. However, data also exists to show that immigration can bolster economies, with the effect in the UK being particularly pronounced. Now, what are the possible effects of rapid population growth? Overpopulation can have a number of effects, most of which are negative, as examined. The first effect of overpopulation is the lack of water. Overpopulation creates greater demand on the world's fresh water supplies, as only roughly 1% of the world's water is fresh and accessible. These creates a major issue. Some estimates state that human demand for fresh water will stand at approximately 70% of what is available on the planet by 2025. This will place those living in impoverished areas that have already limited access to such water at great risk. The next effect is low life expectancy. While higher life expectancy is leading to increases in population in developed countries, lower life expectancy may be caused by the booms in population that less developed nations such as the Philippines are experiencing. A large proportion of the world's population growth occurs in less developed countries. This stretches the resources these countries have thinner, resulting in less access to medical care, fresh water, food, and jobs, all resulting in a fail in life expectancy. The next effect of overpopulation is extinction. The effect of overpopulation on the world's wildlife is also a major issue. As demand for land grows, so too does the destruction of natural habitats such as forests. Some experts warn that if present trends continue, as many as 50% of the world's wildlife species will be at risk of extinction. Data has also been collected to show that there is a direct link between increases in human population and decreases in the number of species in the planet. The next effect is resource consumption. As the population grows, so too does the amount of resources needed to keep so many people alive. Food, water, and fossil fuels are all being consumed at record rates, placing greater demands on producers and the planet itself. Ironically, it is the discovery of many of these natural resources, particularly fossil fuels, that have been contributed to conditions that are favorable to population growth. A study has shown that the world's ecosystem changed more rapidly in the later half of the 20th century than at any other point in history because of increased use of these resources. And the last effect of overpopulation is faster climate change. Overpopulation directly correlates to climate change, particularly as larger nations like China and India continue to develop their industrial capacities. They now rank as two of the three largest contributors to emissions in the world, alongside the United States. 97% of the scientific community agrees that human activities are changing global temperatures, The Philippines, especially in major cities like Metro Manila, where larger populations are found, may speed these changes up, especially if more is not done to reduce individual carbon footprints on a wide scale. For the final word, this is the conclusion of my lecture. Overpopulation is a crisis that potentially stands alongside climate change as one of the biggest challenges facing humanity today. Despite this, there is little in the way of education or dialogue relating to the issue, particularly in schools. If this doesn't change, the issues highlighted in this lecture may continue to grow unabated. If that happens, this one issue could have a knock-on effect that will lead to untold problems in the future. That is all for my lecture about this issue, the rapid population growth in the Philippines. Thank you for listening and watching.